I love you, Lord. Oh, your mercy never fails me. And all my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.
Hi, welcome to City Talk and City Walk. And in this segment, we have a very interesting feature. Of course, it has become common for Pinays to dream of the ultimate encounter, and that is an encounter with a foreigner and a would-be prince, charming, better yet, husband. So that will be one of our topics in this segment. Have you heard of Romania? Very few people have heard about Romania. And for those who have some idea about Romania, the immediate thing that comes to mind is Count Dracula. Transylvania, okay? Mga vampires. But one of our featured guests this segment is from Romania. But wonder of wonders, he doesn't look like Count Dracula. He's a very handsome young man with a very interesting story to tell. So we'd like to welcome to our show Adrian. Hi, welcome Adrian. And
hello.
Yes, so what brings you to the Philippines, Adrian?
I came to marry my beloved wife.
Oh, now your wife, you've gotten married.
Yeah.
But you came here the first time. This is your first time?
The second time.
The second time. So the first time you came here just to check her out?
Yes. To meet her and to know her more.
Okay, and so you've traveled how many miles? Thousands of miles?
Yeah.
Like
I think 12,000 miles.
12,000 miles, all the way from Romania. And where is Romania?
Romania is in the continent of Europe.
Yes.
In the southeast of Europe.
This is what used to be part of the Soviet Republic.
Yes.
Union Soviet Republic. And it has become free.
Yes.
You now have your own prime minister, right?
Yes.
And then it's what would you call the political system in place? Democracy. Okay, because what's stuck in mind is this dictator before, Ceausescu.
It was, but
yeah,
now it's
not
democracy.
anymore. Okay, so we'd like to meet the mystery woman. Hello, our Pinay, Negrense.
Hi.
All the way from Bacolod, and she is Micah.
Yes, my name
welcome
is
to City Talk, City Walk, and together let's talk about your story. You're now happily married of how many months?
I think
2 weeks, almost.
Oh, just 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, and so tell us, how did you guys connect?
We both downloaded an application, Christian Dating for Free app.
Wow.
So I was downloading the application like almost a year before Micah downloaded. So I was in searching.
So it's an application.
Yeah.
WhatsApp is an application. So this one is called?
Christian Dating for Free.
Wow, Christian Dating for Free. And who runs that?
I think it's made by some Christians.
Okay, with the intent of giving Christians all around the world an avenue to connect on the internet. Well, internet dating, meeting people is not always safe, isn't it?
Yes.
So I've always had questions about even Christians meeting their partner eventually getting married, and I always ask them, how sure are you that the story they're sharing is true, that the package presented to you is authentic and not a spam or false image. So did it ever come to you?
Well, it was so funny because when I was like searching to sign up for an application, I didn't know that you really have to pay for it.
Oh.
Yeah, so I said like, I prayed. I said, Lord, if it's really for you, it should be free. So I tried to search for a free application and a Christian, and then that app was really perfect.
It was free.
It was free.
It still is free.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so among so many hundreds of feeds on personalities, pictures, and you're never sure whether the handsome picture matches the real person. Right?
Yeah.
So how many scrolls down or up did you have to make before you saw the right quote, the right man or image?
Well, for me, I downloaded the app like 2 weeks after I met Adrian. So 2 weeks before I met him.
2 weeks before you
Yeah.
met him. So you have, of course, hundreds of pictures and candidates. How did you finally landed on Adrian in you that this is it, this is the guy?
Right. I think that's the best question for Adrian because he's the one who messaged me first.
Okay, Adrian. So you decided immediately it's going to be a Filipina and not a Thai or Singaporean or Malaysian?
Not quite that I decided exactly a Filipino, but I really liked, even from a young age, I liked Asian nations.
Why?
I don't know, I was attracted by even...
The brown color?
I even liked the movies, Asian movies. So,
Oh, you were watching Asian movies?
Yeah.
Like what movies?
like movies with Jackie Chan.
So you imagine it. Jackie Chan is Kung Fu.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know, it was an attraction in my heart for
Asians.
Asians.
Okay, so you downloaded the apps, and how did you zoom in or land in a Filipina page?
Well, it was not only a Filipina, it was from a lot of nations. So
how
I
many
saw...
are there? 1,000 or so?
Are many.
Subscriptions?
Yeah. Many.
Many.
Yes.
Like in the 10,000?
Even more from all over the world.
Oh, really?
A lot
Huh?
of.
So it must be quite a task to scroll over hundreds of pictures and then finding...
Yes, but I was praying before.
Okay.
I was praying, God, I pray that you will unite us, that you will put us together, that you will make the bond between us. And it was so easy. When I saw her profile for the first time, in that application you have to put your religion. So she had put there Reformed, Christian Reformed. So first time I just closed the profile because I didn't want it. In Romania, when you say Christian Reformed, it's like you say a person that doesn't have a relationship with the Lord. So I was not interested in that because I kind of had my standards.
So before you went on this Christian dating app, you already listed the qualities that you believe God would want you to have in a wife.
Yeah. For me, it was very important that the woman that I was going to marry to have a strong relationship with the Lord, that she will be on fire, she would be a woman of prayer, she would study her Bible, she should be a worshiper, and a woman that would understand these things.
Wow, that's narrowing it down to 0.001%.
Yeah, exactly.
Considering the kind of women we have in the world now.
So first time I just closed her profile because I was not interested.
Okay.
But the second time, after like few days, I just saw her profile again, and I said I clicked it, and I saw Christian Reform again. And I was about to close it, but a question came into my mind. Let's see what she says about her in her description. So when I read her description, I was amazed. I said, wow, this is not Christian Reform. This is a born-again believer. So she was kind of matching what I wanted from a woman. And I texted her.
You texted her
Yes.
on Messenger?
On that application.
Okay.
So after a day, I think she replied because of the time zone, and she replied, and it was interesting because from the first time that we started to talk, we talked 4 hours.
Hours?
Yes.
Like hours?
4 hours.
So
Yeah.
how did the conversation begin?
The conversation was pretty weird because it was like I felt it was like, who is this man? It was so weird that we have the same vision in life. We have the same. Even he even asked me, how many children do you want on the first day that we talked, and we have the same. Yeah, and I was like, Lord, who is this person?
Now, what was the first message he sent you?
The first message was so funny because it was like a random message. It was like, hi, I liked your profile. I would like to hear from you. Something like that. And it was like, usually, I don't reply on that message. And it was like, there's like a feeling inside of me that just reply. And then when I replied, he replied back. It was so fast that it was like, we know it was not us.
Okay. Okay, see. Okay, and so you started on a journey on the net. So tell
Yes.
me about the first encounter.
First encounter was very peaceful. And when I talked to her, I felt like I was immediately connected to her.
Okay.
I felt like I could talk very easily and open my heart very easily to her.
Okay.
And I felt so peaceful. It was like supernatural peace, and that was something that I didn't felt before when I was talking with.
But
some
you
other
had
ladies.
girlfriends before.
I cannot say that I had girlfriends.
How old were you when you went on this app?
32.
Oh, you were already 32.
Yes.
So at 32, you never had any serious relationship?
Yes.
Why? Unusual
Yeah, it's very
for a
unusual.
European.
Yeah, I think God protected me.
Okay.
My first 23 years from my life, I really wanted to have a girlfriend and to have a relationship, but it seems that every time that I tried, it was something blocking, and I
This
couldn't.
is with your fellow Romanians.
Yeah, and after that, I became a Christian. I gave my life to the Lord, and I was
What
dedicated.
age was that?
23.
Oh, at age 23. And how exactly did you encounter Jesus Christ?
It's a long story, but I will make it a little bit short.
Okay.
From the age of 17 until then, I was Orthodox Christian.
Yeah.
I was going to the church, and
This is Greek Orthodox.
yeah. And after that, I started to read some books about how to have success in life. So what happened is the author was very against God and very against Bible.
Okay.
So I started to believe his theories, and I departed from God. I never wanted to know anything about him. I started to search the truth in other parts, like yoga, Buddhism,
Hinduism.
New Age stuff, occultism,
Yes.
witchcraft, a lot of other parts that are not from God.
Yes.
So what happened? A friend of mine for 3 years, he started to tell me about God. But I was so stubborn that we even debated for 5 hours, and he couldn't convince me. Sometimes we started to talk and just debate. He
Yeah.
couldn't convince me. I was
Yeah.
so stubborn, and I was so...
Were you in university at that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So after that, I was watching a video on YouTube about some guys who experienced clinical death.
Oh, near-death experience.
Yeah. So
Okay.
what happened after seeing that video?
Take your seat. Welcome to our conference room here. Seek rest. Okay. We'll be more
So-
comfortable this way.
After seeing that video, I got curious about God again, and I was more open with my friend to let him talk into my life about
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
So in a short time we started to study the Bible, and after a while I surrendered my life to the Lord. And I remember that I was going one day on the streets and I suddenly felt such a great conviction in my heart that I am on the right way again. And it was so fulfilling in my heart. It's hard to describe it in words.
In other words, you had a personal encounter with God
Yes,
and the Lord Jesus Christ.
exactly.
So at age 23,
Yeah,
you came to know Him personally, beyond
Yes.
religion,
yes,
beyond institutional Christianity.
exactly.
Okay, so how did that change your life and your career?
Well, my life was totally changed from being a man that almost didn't believe in God anymore or pushing Him out of my life to a man that I had a strong conviction and a faith in Him.
So that is soon after you got out of university.
Like 2 years after that.
Yeah, and then you started on your career. You have a
Yeah.
very interesting career path.
Yeah, I was a sports teacher before.
Sports
Teacher,
teacher.
yes.
What did you teach?
Sports.
What kind of sports? Football.
Elementary sports, in
Everything.
football, everything.
Yeah.
In Romania, this is how we do it.
Yeah.
We teach a little bit of everything.
Everything from early age.
From early age. Yeah.
Okay, and then
And after a year, I quitted that and I started to become a chess trainer.
how did you get into a chess? Were you a chess player?
I was a chess player before.
Oh, and were you winning in?
I was, winning and sometimes not winning, but I was pretty good.
Yeah. So
say
you
like
wanted to be the one that will create a master, a chess
Yeah.
master. Okay. Fast forward. So that was age 23. I suppose until you reach your 30s,
Yeah.
and you never had any desire to get married.
Well, I started to have desire from like age 28, 29, and I was praying for my wife. I was praying and
There were no candidates inside in your church.
well, I cannot say that I was matching the girls that I was encountering. We had different visions, to say
Okay.
like that.
Yeah.
And from the age 28, 29, when I got to the 30, I asked the Lord, when I'm going to get married? And I suddenly hear a voice in my head at the age of 33.
Really.
And now I'm 33 and we just got married.
Wow. Yeah. So
And-
that's how real God is.
Yeah.
When you
Amen.
came to know Him personally, you begin to have that intimacy with the Father.
Exactly.
And so when you speak to Him, He speaks back to you.
Exactly. I believe that God is a good father, and every good father speaks to his children.
Okay, yeah, true enough. But you said you tried other roads, other religions and philosophies,
Yes.
and you didn't find what you were looking for.
I thought that I found the truth,
Yeah.
but inside of me I was empty. And when I came to Christ, I suddenly felt such a strong conviction inside, and it was so fulfilling. It was that emptiness was fully filled. It was like wow. I mean, it's hard to describe it.
It reminds us of what St. Augustine wrote, within every heart, within every man is a vacuum that cannot be filled by anything else but God.
Yeah.
And just last week we had a very candid interview with a gay, a homosexual, who did it all. Was a film director, had money, had fame, had all the men that he desired. But at the end of the day, he said, it was the darkest, loneliest life I had. So yours is a different journey, but you've experienced the same emptiness, the same loneliness.
Exactly.
Okay. So then, even this encounter with God through Jesus Christ.
Yes.
Okay. Describe it. It's not religion.
No. Many people think that if you come to God, you need to do that and that and that and that, and you cannot do that and that and that and that. And it's a set of rules. But, you know, I find out that that is what religion does. Puts you into a set of rules. You cannot do that, you can do only that. But when I found out that God is a good father, I realized that He wants a relationship with us, and that's different. Because in a father-son relationship, you don't put him to be in some regulation and some restrictions, and he will be your robot. No. He will do things for you because he loves you, or he will stop doing things just because he loves you and he cares for you.
In other words, in many religions, it is man manipulating an idol.
Yes.
Like I have been to different Asian countries, and in Yangon, in Burma, they have these huge bells and huge paddle, and you have to hit this bell hard to wake up the gods, the spirits. And then last night I was watching this documentary on Bolivia, this most dangerous stretch of road in the Andes, and it's the death road, they say. But before they enter the death road, there is like a pedestal and an altar where they offer alcohol, pour alcohol around, and food offering to this goddess, to this idol. So, and then it's a strange, interesting, this transformed gay said, you know, gayhood, homosexuality is in itself a religion. It's the worship of the phallus, the penis.
Yeah.
He said, huh? And it was to me a revelation. Because he said, do you know, when gays get together, the first question they ask is, have you had the man that you're going around with? You know, the man beside him. Have you tasted him? Have you had it? Then the next question he said is, well, how long? How long is the organ? That is, the focus is around the male organ.
Yeah.
It's a religion, he said. It was a revelation. So you're saying that what you discovered or what you experience is not religion, in the sense that you have to offer food or you have to do something in order that this God will listen to you or will listen to your prayer.
Yes. Well, I find out that God doesn't require anything from you, only to love Him. He will not force you to do anything. He will just let you do it from love. It's just like a good father with his child.
It's interesting because Romania was close to the gospel before. So how come, why is it now that you have evangelist, or you said it's your friend who shared the good news to you, the gospel? Is he a Christian worker, missionary, or what?
Now he's a pastor.
Oh, he's a pastor.
Yes.
Romanian pastor? Or?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because we've always associated Romania with communism, but that was the past.
That was, yes, in the past.
Okay, so Romania now has pastors sharing the good news.
Yes.
Okay. And so what about you, Micah? How did you go beyond religion. We're a Catholic nation. So were you born Catholic?
Yes, I was born Catholic, but seeking God, seeking the Father. I've been a Christian since 2015, but still, still in sin. You can be a Christian and have a little bit of Jesus, but then I know in my heart that I'm not doing it right. I was in a relationship with, someone before. Until such time that, the relationship ended, and I really heard the voice of God telling me that He's not the right person for you. At that moment, I know that it was God. I now understand that God is really so desperate for our calling, for our purpose. Because He would really tell us, come to me, my son or my daughter, just for you to walk in His will. So at that time, I said, I had to, because He's really calling me. That was 2018.
And you were a college graduate then?
Yes, that was 2018. Last year.
Last year, when you
encountered
Jesus Christ. But before that, you were just an ordinary Pinay girl, single, swinging, and in a relationship, having fun, like most millennials.
Most Christian people claim that we're Christians, but not really have a relationship with God.
Personal, not intimate relationship.
Yes.
Yeah, I see. So, what led you to that? The heartbreak, or?
Yes, it was a heartbreak actually. I was with a guy for almost 6 years, and he cheated on me. Yeah, and it was really, you thought that you're gonna die because of that, but then I realized that was that death was my resurrection in Christ.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful testimony that I saw God is really, really real. That until Adrian came, that that was the reason why.
Okay, so Adrian came a year after the heartbreak.
Yes, a year after the heartbreak. But
what were you doing after the heartbreak?
Very good question. So it was not an easy season for me, because I came to a point that I don't want to believe in real love anymore. I don't want to get married. I'm dating, but I don't see myself, getting married, because it was really like a trauma. But the season of singleness was the season for me and God to date. Was the season for me to enjoy my relationship with the Lord. And when you get to know God as a Father, you get to know yourself. You get to know the standards that what God wants for you. So my standards became higher. So I said whoa, it was really higher. It's it sounds impossible. Like Adrian's standard, I have my own standard too. But then I felt like I'm in the right will of God. That's why I felt like before, I don't want to date Filipino men anymore because of that. But yeah, it makes sense now.
Okay, so going back to online romantic encounters. So, so how was it? So you chatted for 4 hours the first time,
Yes.
and so of course you saw she's Filipina. So the race wasn't the issue anymore as the meeting of the spirits. Huh?
Yeah, it was not a problem anymore.
Okay.
For me, it was important that it was the woman that God wants me to marry.
Okay.
So that's why I was very careful in the beginning. I was even when I was talking to her, I was trying to discern what's happening. How is she? Is she real or not? I was praying. I was asking the Lord, how is she? Describe her to me. Show me how she really is. Yeah. And gradually the Lord.
And you can
showed
be
me.
that candid with your prayer and ask and be very specific. So prayer is not really reciting a number of mantras or memorized prayer. O thou heavenly Father, Father of mankind. But it's really conversing with God.
Yes.
Letting letting
Exactly.
God know what's in your heart,
Exactly.
your angst.
Yeah.
You know, I can give you an example of what happened to me when I prayed in that kind of mode. That I was just reading from a book. I had a very hard past with my family. We went through a financial problem, and my mom went to a nun to give her something to pray, some prayers. And she gave her some prayer from a book. And what happened? I said to my mom, I want to help you. So for 40 days we had to pray that prayer. So
This is a novena. Novena. We call it here novena, like
Yeah,
Okay.
something like that.
a set of prayers.
Yeah.
Prayer to the saint.
yeah, to a saint.
Hail
it
Mary.
was
Yeah.
to Saint Nicholas,
Yeah.
I think. So what happened after 10 days? I started to get bored of that prayer. So I could barely wait for me to finish reading the prayer every day. So the time went by and nothing happened. We prayed for 40 days, nothing happened. So one day my mom came to me and said, Adrian, we don't have what to do, we need to sell the apartment so that we can pay our debt. We had a huge debt in that time. So she leaves me alone in the room, so I started to walk and started to think about a solution to our problem. So nothing that I was thinking about was good. Everything was falling apart. So after few minutes in that situation, I was very stressed, I was very panicked, worried. It was like I needed like the one, and I would start to cry. So in that stressful situation, I don't know how this happened. Probably God took my mouth and He spoke through it. But I said from all of my heart, God, please help us. And suddenly I felt like all my stress, all my panic, all my worries, everything in me, all my fears dissipated. And a peace came into my heart like I never felt before. It's like God entered the room and it was like, just chill, I am with you.
This was after your encounter with Jesus or
No,
before?
that was when I was 15 years
Oh,
old.
15 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you had series of personal encounters.
Yeah, so that's when I saw the difference between a prayer that you pray in the book
Yeah, memorized
and
prayer.
a prayer that you pray from all of your heart.
Yeah.
And when you say to God what's hurting you, what you have on your soul. So from that time on, I realized that prayer, it's a conversation. So in a conversation, you just not go and say, okay, la 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 la, and then you close the book, and next day you come la 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 la, the same thing, and then you close the book, and then the third day you come the same thing. That's not a relationship. That's you reciting a prayer to God. So I realized that a conversation should be in something that you just tell Him what you have in your soul, like
Yeah.
to a good father.
Yeah. And you were saying that that's how you prayed while you began on this journey on the internet, asking God, reveal to me who she really is, whether
Yeah.
she is a robot or what have you, no? And
Yeah.
how was it with you? Did you have qualms? Did you have fears that you may be like, I got this Facebook request and this looks like a U.S. Air Force colonel, very handsome, and I know immediately this is a scam.
Yeah. For my own personal experience, Adrian's profile was so funny. His picture was like a 10-year, probably like 10 years ago picture. It doesn't look like that. Like, it was not my type.
Why? How did he look like?
He doesn't have a beard. He was so thin at that picture.
Boyish, parang high school kid.
Yeah, he looks like a high school. And it looks like, he looks like a very, very nice altar boy. Something like that. And
Really?
I was like, oh, okay. But it was so funny that of all the men that are chatting on me,
There were other guys chatting
yeah,
with
a
you.
lot.
Yeah.
I replied on him. It was not normal. Like,
Yeah.
I replied.
Uh-huh.
And then, what's funny is when we video chat, I was like this. Really like, I was shocked. Like, oh my goodness, it's so handsome. But then, of course, I'm guarding my heart that, I'm gonna fall in love with a handsome face. Let me discern. Let me ask the Lord and let me pray first. And then, amazing in our relationship, everything was really confirmed through prayers by the Lord.
So from the start, you were praying together?
From the start, yeah,
Individual prayers?
individual prayers, and we are really like when we're friends, we're talking that let's ask the Lord about this.
So how long did you have this friendship before you went on to a deeper level? Really?
Yeah, he was confirming from all over the parts that, yeah, she'll be my wife. So I said, okay, if it's from you, Lord, I don't doubt anymore. I'll just ask her. So I proposed to her.
Just like that, after 4 months, without
Yeah.
seeing her in person?
Yeah, over the phone.
Over the phone. So how was it, Micah?
It's funny. Before he asked me, I already knew that he's gonna be my husband by the confirmation.
The Lord affirmed it
Yeah.
to you.
That's why it's very important to ask God so that you'll not miss, your purpose. So when he asked me, I said, I want to be your wife. I said that.
Without the ring,
Yeah.
without the kneeling down. That's very important, taking your confirmation of the Holy Spirit, because how old were you already in
27.
27. At that age, parang maiwan ka na ng biyahe, The train is going to leave and you're going to be left behind. That's kind of a feeling for women in their late 20s. I had that feeling before, I married at 30. 30. Okay. So, what would you tell, because there are many Filipinas who go online dating. So there are cuidados, warnings, and in this case, it's not just any online dating. You chose a Christian. How do you know it's really Christian? Did you look at the basis of faith? They did have
You would see it on the software of the application. There's really like the description, the app.
Yeah.
That you have to sign up.
Like a covenant that you sign, a basis of faith, a declaration of faith,
Not wrong. They are just requiring you
to fill up.
Yeah.
to say something about you.
Yeah, and then they just readily accept you like that.
Yeah. And mind you, not everyone there are really Christian.
Yeah. You have to filter through the thousands, you said, thousands, literally thousands of entries. Yeah,
Yeah.
but God can work even in a flawed system.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. So fast forward. So after 4 months from December, you what? You were ready to pack and.
I came here and we met. We officiated our.
Do you know that other foreigners have done that? They pack up, they come here loaded with thousands of dollars, and they end up being gypped or goofed.
I didn't know that.
Yes. Even the son, this is a miracle story also. I should have interviewed him. Even the son of a famous preacher from the United States, he came over here. He also met a Filipina online, came here, but that lady took away everything, and he ended up penniless and became a street man, living off. Then somehow he got to meet this lady who took pity on him and started just sharing, and they connected, and he fell in love, and this became the saving grace. And somehow they ended in Bacolod. But when they ended in Bacolod, the American guy said, I will just go get something to eat, or the lady. Then they separate, they got, a guy, he's not from here, he's American, got lost, the lady got lost, and they ended up there, somewhere near the Bacolod Street Children's Feeding Center. Some of the kids, neighborhood kids from the slums, connected with him and said, come, there's food there inside. So he met my good friend Marilu Castor, and the rest is story. So he told his story, and at first Marilu thought maybe this is a hobo, or he's a con man. But when she listened to his story, and then she validated it and said, what's the name of your dad, who's a pastor? Looked up, she called the man first, first call, no answer, second, then finally the call was returned, but she was out. Anyway, to make the story short, she got connected with the father told the story about the man. He was an alcoholic, recovering alcoholic, who wanted to start anew and fancied marrying a Filipina. But anyway, the lady finally, they found each other. Because he went back, Marilu went back to where they last saw each other. And it was quite a scene, And apparently he was, like you, a believer but was not obeying. So he had a miserable life, backsliding, that's the word. Happy story ended. They're now in Mindanao, to the place of the lady, and he is planning to enroll in a Bible school there. Anyway, so going back to your story, God guides in extraordinary ways. As you said, like a loving father, he would want to communicate himself to you.
Exactly.
And of course, he's an intelligent being, so you don't repeat the same thing. Every day you don't repeat the same thing, because many Filipinos, they think by reciting novena, 40 days novena, 30 days novena to a saint, or doing rituals, that they will get what they're asking for. But in your sharing, that's not the case. And the most important thing at age 33, is it? Was to finally meet the woman of your dreams and God's design for you, the best woman.
Exactly.
The woman, because really it's the issue of the Creator knowing what's best for His creation. The perfect match.
Amen.
Okay, so 4 months. Did you have to raise money? What did you have to do to come over here? 12,000 miles or so.
Yeah, I had to get some money.
To sell your car?
No. God didn't let me to get into that. So I came here for the first time. But I want to share something.
Okay.
How was I so sure about this? I was going once with my kids to a tournament. Chess tournament.
Oh, the students.
With the students.
Your disciples in chess.
And I was sitting in the back seat of the car, and suddenly I felt the Holy Spirit was enveloping me, like surrounding me, like it was so strong, so peaceful, and I felt that my relationship with Micah, it's in His hands. And every time that the enemy tried to destroy our relationship, I would go to that place and remember, oh, this is what you told me. I trust in you, Lord.
In an unexpected place.
Yeah.
So God can speak to you anywhere.
Exactly.
Even in the toilet.
Exactly. And that was without me thinking about Him, and without...
You were just driving.
I was just sitting and enjoying the road, and suddenly it was like, wow. It was so peaceful and so good.
That was 4 months before you bought bought the ticket or booked your flight?
Not quite. It was like after I met her, like 2 months after I met
okay.
her.
Okay. So what made you finally take the leap of faith to book your ticket to fly to an unknown country?
It was the confirmations that God gave us. Even the pastor that officiated our marriage said that he was praying once and God told him that he's going to marry us.
Okay. So when did you know that this is the day I have to fly to the Philippines?
Well, in my job I have vacations. I cannot go whenever I want.
Okay.
So in May, the beginning of May, the last days of
This May?
Yeah. The
2019?
Yes.
Okay.
The last days of April, I had the vacation for like 1 week. So I said I shall come here to see her. And after that, we decided to officiate the marriage.
So what did you
in
see?
August when I
What did you see?
another vacation.
What you imagine it was it in real terms?
Yeah.
So you never, was it your first time to fly abroad or it's?
Yeah, it was the first time to fly so much because I was flying before, but not too much, only like 2 hours.
Not across the Atlantic. What is that, Aegean Sea or Black Sea into outside Europe?
I was only in the Europe. side.
European. And
Yeah.
so, what was your first encounter with Philippine culture?
My first encounter with the Philippine culture was
The airport?
Yeah, and
You stopped over in Manila.
yes, I stopped over in Manila and it was so hot. That was something that hit me. And when I came here, I enjoyed the food.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was something that I really like. And what I like is that people here are very nice. And they are very open to the gospel. Very open to receive Jesus and to, if you know how to tell them the good news, they will realize that He's the only way to get to heaven.
Okay. So, Micah, okay, weren't you scared meeting this strange man?
That's the first time, you know. I never desired to marry a foreigner. Never imagined that. I was not scared because I know that the process was really from the Lord. You know, He gave me all the confirmation, so I have to. At the airport, it was so funny because
Bacolod.
at the airport, in Silay, because we met there for the first time. I was looking at him from afar, and I said, "This is it." And yeah, everything was so good. It feels like for the first time that we met, it feels like I know him for a long time. There was a connection.
Immediate connection.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you came here in May. You flew back to Romania.
Yes.
And then you came back when again?
August.
August.
In the beginning of August.
Oh, just the start of this month.
Yeah.
Okay.
29 July I arrived here. So,
So
because I have a vacation of 1 month this
Okay. Who
month.
arranged for the wedding? Micah, you did?
We have a wedding planner.
Okay. And then, were your parents here or just you?
Only me.
So will you have another wedding in Ukraine?
In
In
Romania.
Ukraine, Romania. Yeah.
When she is going to come to Romania, we'll have another wedding.
Oh, so you had your parents here.
Yes.
But they're not going to Romania. of
Yes,
course.
they're not.
So you have the Filipino side of the wedding.
Yeah.
Yes.
And would the wedding be, because it's Christian, it's not any different from Romanian wedding?
Well,
Will there be some cultural differences?
yeah,
Like
a
what?
little bit. Even when they got us married in the altar, they put the cord over us. That is something that we don't have
You don't have that.
in Romania.
What do you have?
We don't have anything like
You
that.
just
We just stay in front of each other and we say a vow that the pastor or the priest is saying. We don't have even the part that we write our vows
And
don't
you
have-
say it to each other?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's simple, huh?
It's a little bit more simple.
I see. So what did your parents say?
You know, it's
Both your
amazing.
father and mother are alive.
Yes, both of them.
So when you started dating online, did they not warn you or?
So since I started using the application, I met some men. And you know what's amazing about that is my mom would tell me if I'm gonna show him, if I'm gonna show her the picture.
So you came over, just you arrived here a few weeks ago, and suddenly you're married. So how's the married life?
Until now, great.
You're still on cloud number 9.
Yes.
Yeah, but the reality is that tomorrow you're flying back.
Yeah.
And how is that with you? Baka iwanan ka na, baka hindi ka na balikan.
I have to really have this mindset that I have to wait again, but the waiting process is gonna be good to prepare me to go to Romania.
So you're all set. When he proposed to you, did he make clear that if you are going to marry him, you're going to go and live in Romania, the land of Dracula? Did he tell you that you will have to leave your, like Ruth and Naomi and
Yeah.
Ruth, you'll have to leave your people, Bacolod, Inasal,
Yeah, everything.
everything, and go to cold Romania, Transylvania. How's
Yeah.
that? Did you tell her that?
I told her about the Romania culture and Romania country, and she agreed.
So you're ready.
Yes, actually, I was really prepared for it, and also I'm just very excited to a new land, new temperature, new food, new people.
Okay. And what awaits her there, in real terms?
What awaits her there? First, the seasons are going to be 4 seasons.
Okay. So it's exciting.
Yeah, it's a
From-
new beginning.
Summer,
Yeah,
just summer to autumn,
winter,
and spring. But it's very cold winter, right? You have
Yes.
long winters,
yes,
6 months, 7 months,
5 months.
5 months. And of course, I suppose you have a house waiting for her.
Yeah, we are going to stay in a rented place at my
Yeah.
auntie for the moment until we'll get our house.
Your own place, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So you're flying out tomorrow.
yeah.
And what's your message to her?
I love you, and I'll do my best to be back together as soon as possible.
Yes.
So like MacArthur, I shall return.
Yeah.
Or she will just fly out. Will you come pick her up, or she will just fly out?
We'll see that
You're
in
not
the
yet
future.
sure.
Because for me it depends on my schedule at my work.
Okay. But she
I
can
am-
just fly to Romania. And where's that? Where's the landing city? Budapest?
Bucharest or
Bucharest.
Cluj or other cities.
Yeah, yeah. So, anyway, this is the story of Adrian and Micah. And any parting words with those who are yet to find their life partner? And a message to those who are still searching for meaning and direction in life.
First and the most important thing is seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. This is what I did for all these years in my life. I kept my purity. I didn't make sex with any other women before marriage, and I realized that it's worth waiting. God will give you the best if you wait for Him.
Thank you. And you, Micah?
For all the women that are single, do not be pressured of your age, of the waiting time. trust in the Lord, seek God, love God first. This singleness season is really a season for you and God to date and to know Him more. Because if you know Him, you will know His will for you. You will know what He wants in your life, and He will not disappoint you. He will surely give you the best man for you in His perfect time. He's never late.
And with that, friends, we'd like to invite you for our next segment. But meantime, let me plug in these wonderful products from our partner NGO. Moringa capsules, organic 100% and quality standard. Okay, they're now accredited by the FDA. You have this soap made out of iba, our own iba, which is a good natural whitening agent, but another herbal product here. And for your dogs, this Acapulco, very effective. And when you're having joint pains and you just want to relax, you're stressed out, feeling, this is very good for just soothing. It's a balm from oregano. And this wonderful goat's milk soap with virgin cocoa oil and moringa. Very good for your face. You don't have to spend hundreds of pesos, thousands to buy these very expensive imported products or brand name beauty products. This is totally organic, and look at my skin, my face. I use organic, and I'm a testimony. I won't tell you my age now, but I will. But I have told you my age in some other lines. And this is the best. I will not leave home without this because this is made from Acapulco. I tend to be allergic to my own sweat. Inabalang bunga, balhas, and bites. I'm allergic to mosquito bites. So as soon as I put this, the itchiness is gone. Even for babies, for psoriasis, all these are blessed products of our own fellow believers from Mindanao. And these are all available at Seacrest Foundation here in 13th Street. And you may call us. Our good editor will put the telephone number as we scroll down in our acknowledgements. And let me show you this. This is the Rolls Royce of Lanzones. We call it Longkong. You have Zamboanga, which is Toyota of the Lanzones. Then you have Paite, which is, let's say, the Mercedes-Benz, but this is the Rolls Royce. And tell you, friends, this is all organic and produced in Shalom Orchard Grove. Pagpanit mo sini, nagapiswit-piswit pa siya, kay juicy gidya, gabakal ka mo sang grapes nga tag 400 per kilo. Iniya is now available only through Seacrest, and katamis gidya. Nothing like Longkong from Concepcion. I know Mindanao growers have been flooding our market here. Go for Bacolod Negros products, and it's fresh, and it's organic, and it's available in the market. Contact us. Okay, thank you. I'll see you again next week. I'm your program host, Violeta Lopez Gonzaga, bidding you goodbye now, but I'll see you again.
I love you,
God bless you.
Lord. Oh, your mercy never fails me. And all my days I've been held in your hand. From the moment that I wake up until I lay my head, oh, I will sing of the goodness of God.